Most women spend a lot of time trying to understand what men are thinking. They ask their friends, they search online, they analyze every text message, every pause in a conversation, every little change in his behavior. But surprisingly, many of the things men notice never become part of those conversations. Not because they're unimportant, because most men simply don't say them. Some stay quiet because they don't know how to express what they're feeling. Others assume these things are obvious, and some avoid mentioning them because they don't want to sound overly emotional or vulnerable. The result? Many women spend years focusing on things that matter far less than they think, while completely overlooking the small behaviors that quietly shape the way a man sees them. Today, I want to share 5 things men often notice but rarely say out loud. Not because these are secret rules, and certainly not because every man thinks exactly the same, but because these patterns appear again and again in healthy relationships, conversations, and real life. Let's begin. Number 1, he notices how you make him feel after you're gone. Most people judge a conversation by what happened during it. Men often judge it by what they feel afterward. Think about that for a moment. 2 women can both be beautiful, both can be intelligent, both can have interesting stories. Yet after spending an hour with each of them, one stays on his mind for days, while the other slowly fades from memory. Why? Because memories aren't created by fact. They're created by emotions. Some people leave you feeling lighter. Others leave you feeling judged. Some leave you feeling inspired. Others leave you mentally exhausted. A man may never tell you this directly, but he notices the emotional atmosphere that surrounds you. Does he feel accepted? Does he feel relaxed? Can he laugh without worrying about saying the wrong thing? Can he be himself? Or does every conversation feel like another performance? Many women assume attraction is built only during the interaction. In reality, much of attraction grows after the interaction ends. When someone leaves you with peace instead of pressure, your mind naturally wants to return to them. That doesn't happen because they're trying to be perfect. It happens because being around them feels emotionally safe. And emotional safety is far more memorable than people realize. Number 2, he notices how you treat people who can't offer you anything. Character reveals itself in unexpected moments. Not when everyone is watching, not when you're trying to impress someone, but during ordinary interactions. A waiter brings the wrong order. A cashier is moving slowly. An elderly stranger asks for help. Someone interrupts you. These moments seem insignificant. To many men, they aren't, because they answer an important question. Who is she when there's nothing to gain? Anyone can be kind when kindness is convenient. Real character appears when patience costs something. A man may never stop the conversation and tell you he admired the way you treated a stranger. He probably won't mention how politely you thanked someone, but he noticed, because those moments tell him something far bigger than your words ever could. They reveal habits, and habits become relationship. If you're respectful only when life is easy, eventually that changes. But if the kindness is part of who you are, it appears everywhere. In small conversations, in difficult moments, in ordinary days. The interesting thing about respect is that it's rarely loud. It quietly builds trust, and trust is often what transforms attraction into something much deeper. Number 3, he notices whether your confidence depends on other people's approval. There's a difference between enjoying compliments and needing them. Everyone likes to feel appreciated. That's completely normal, but some people constantly look outside themselves for reassurance. They need validation before making decisions. They need everyone to agree with them. They measure their value through attention. Eventually, that becomes emotionally exhausting for the people around them. Confidence looks different. Confident women still have insecurities. They still have doubts. The difference is they don't expect another person to carry the responsibility of fixing every one of them. A man notices when you're comfortable having your own opinions, when you don't panic because someone disagrees, when you don't constantly compare yourself to everyone else. That kind of confidence creates calm, and calm is attractive because it allows relationships to breathe. Imagine sitting across from someone who already believes they're enough. You don't feel pressure to convince them every 5 minutes. The conversation becomes lighter, more genuine, more enjoyable. Ironically, the people who need the least validation often receive the most respect, not because they're trying to appear confident, because confidence has stopped becoming a performance. It simply becomes part of who they are. Number 4. He notices consistency more than grand gestures. Movies have convinced many people that love is built on dramatic moments, expensive surprises, perfect speeches, huge romantic gestures. Real life rarely works that way. Imagine planting a tree. You don't help it grow by pouring an entire swimming pool of water on it once. You help it grow by watering it consistently. Relationships work much the same way. A thoughtful message, keeping your promises, remembering something important to him, being emotionally present, showing appreciation, listening without immediately trying to win the conversation. None of these moments seem extraordinary. Together, they become unforgettable. Many men never say this because consistency doesn't create exciting stories. It creates stable relationships, and stability often goes unnoticed until it's missing. Think about electricity. You barely notice it while it's working. But the moment it disappears, everything changes. Consistency is similar. It's invisible until it disappears. Then suddenly every broken promise, every canceled plan, every emotional mood swing becomes impossible to ignore. The strongest relationships aren't built from isolated acts of love. They're built from reliable patterns repeated over time. Number 5. He notices whether your life feels complete without him. This may sound surprising. Many women believe men want to feel like the absolute center of someone's universe. Healthy men usually don't. They want to matter, but they don't want to become your entire identity. There's a difference. When your happiness depends entirely on one person, every disagreement feels catastrophic. Every delayed reply feels personal. Every independent decision feels threatening. That's an enormous amount of pressure for any relationship. Now imagine someone whose life already has meaning. She has interests, friendships, goals, passions. She enjoys spending time with him, but she also enjoys spending time becoming the person she wants to be. That changes everything, because the relationship becomes a choice instead of a rescue mission. A man notices when your world doesn't disappear the moment he enters it. Ironically, having your own life often makes someone appreciate being part of it even more. Healthy love doesn't ask two people to abandon themselves. It asks two complete lives to grow together. That's a very different kind of relationship, one built on freedom instead of fear, on appreciation instead of dependency, and on partnership instead of possession. Notice something interesting. None of the 5 things we talked about had anything to do with physical appearance. Not because appearance doesn't matter. First impressions exist. Attraction matters. But attraction is usually what opens the door. These quieter qualities determine whether someone wants to stay inside. The way you make people feel, the kindness you show when no one expects it, the confidence that doesn't rely on constant approval, the consistency hidden inside ordinary days. The life you've built beyond the relationship. These aren't the loudest parts of someone's personality. They're the deepest. And they're often the things people remember long after they've forgotten the details of a conversation. The truth is, the strongest connections are rarely built through perfection. They're built through trust, through emotional safety, through reliability, through mutual respect. Most men may never sit down and tell you these things directly, not because they don't notice them, because many of these impressions happen quietly, without dramatic conversations, without announcements, without either person realizing they're happening. But over time, they shape how he feels every time he thinks about you. So instead of asking, how can I impress him? Maybe the better question is this: what kind of experience do people consistently have when they leave my presence? Because long after beauty catches someone's attention, character decides whether they keep looking. If this video gave you a new perspective, let me know which point resonated with you the most. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.